So undoubtedly one thing that I think all fans, including myself, complained the most about the previous iterations of the Spider-Man movies with just how much little time they actually spend in some of the most important parts of Peter Parker's life. Specifically with how little time is spent in high school living with Peter, getting to know him and his friends, exploring those relationships that make him the man he is when he is a little bit older. Now obviously there is a contingent of fans that do like him when he's rapidly aged up and want to see him, swinging around with the Avengers being an adult and something like that, but for many of us, this isn't the case. So going on forward with Spider-Man, as we know, the Marvel Cinematic Universe moves in real time. The only movies that don't is the Guardians of the Galaxy, considering the second movie takes place almost immediately after the first one. So there's going to be this discrepancy in how you watch these movies. Now, that doesn't really matter, but when it comes to Spider-Man, this is going to be a big factor. Because by the time we get another Spider-Man movie, it's probably going to be another 2 to 3 years from the release of Homecoming, which means if he's at least a freshman or a sophomore, you would assume he's going to be in his final year or maybe even graduating. So that could be a problem moving forward. Now we officially have some sort of confirmation from people in charge of the movies. And they say, we really want to do multiple movies where he's in high school. And then they added, going forward, we would definitely treat future Spider-Man movies all as the same slate. So we would be as strategic about where future Spider-Man movies fall in the MCU of it all as would if Sony weren't involved, because there's nothing in it for us or Sony to put a movie out at the wrong time or start confusing the continuity. So obviously this is pretty important. Moving on forward, it's really going to be hard considering if the Avengers movies are going to be back-to-back movies. So let's say Infinity War and whatever Avengers 4 is, if that is considered one movie, and that is, going to be literally where the third one ends and the fourth one begins, you're running into a very, very big problem if Peter Parker has a movie that comes out in 2019 that is set before that, because then you have to play, certain favorites with it, you have to rewrite certain elements of the script. And what could be more confusing is the fact that if Homecoming comes out, and then we move on to Avengers 4 and we know Spider-Man is appearing in Avengers 3 at least, and then after that you get a Homecoming sequel, but that movie takes place before Infinity War. So this could be a very, very tight rope that they're going to have to walk around. So what I'm assuming is that they're going to just handle this very, very carefully. They're going to say he's probably a freshman or just coming around to, finishing his freshman year in Homecoming. And then they're going to jump to probably his junior year for the next Spider-Man movie, meaning his sophomore year was spent in Avengers Infinity War. And then if they wanted to, they could put out one more movie after that. So it's going to be careful, but I think they have a good head on their shoulder. And at least they understand they can't put movies out that don't make sense to the continuity, because that would just, cause a ton of confusion among everybody.